The world had been ordinary until it wasn't. People walked the streets, engines roared, birds soared. Then in an instant, everything changed. A deep, suffocating silence gripped the planet. The air felt heavier, but no one had time to react. 5 seconds. That's all it took for the world as we know it to unravel. Oxygen makes up about 21% of the air we breathe, but its role in sustaining life is far greater. The human body relies on oxygen for cellular respiration, the process that generates energy. A sudden disappearance wouldn't allow enough time for people to suffocate, but the effects would be immediate. Without oxygen, hemoglobin in red blood cells would be unable to carry oxygen to the brain and muscles. In those brief 5 seconds, people would experience dizziness, confusion, and temporary loss of vision. Those flying in planes would be hit hardest. Oxygen deprivation at high altitudes can lead to unconsciousness in seconds. But the crisis wouldn't stop there. The structural integrity of our surroundings depends heavily on oxygen. The concrete buildings we take for granted are held together by oxidation, a process that strengthens materials. Without it, structures would weaken and start to crumble. The very foundations of our cities would begin to collapse. Even more catastrophic, the ozone layer, Earth's shield against deadly solar radiation, is composed of oxygen molecules. A 5-second disappearance would allow an unfiltered blast of ultraviolet rays to reach the surface, causing instant burns on exposed skin and eyes. Interestingly, a world without oxygen would be strangely safer from fire. Combustion requires oxygen, meaning every single fire across the planet, wildfires, house fires, and industrial blazes, would instantly be extinguished. This might sound like a silver lining, but in reality, the sudden absence of oxygen would create chaos. Aircraft engines, car engines, and even power plants would shut down instantly, plunging the world into darkness and leaving millions stranded in powerless machines. While humans and animals would experience chaos, marine life would face a different crisis. Oxygen doesn't just exist in the air, it's dissolved in water too. Fish, plankton, and other aquatic organisms rely on it to survive. A sudden disappearance would cause an immediate, if brief, mass asphyxiation, disrupting entire ecosystems in the blink of an eye. After 5 seconds, oxygen would reappear and the world would gasp, literally. Most people would recover, but the damage would linger. Some would suffer lasting effects from the temporary deprivation. Buildings weakened, ecosystems shaken, and transportation halted. The world would reel from a disaster few had ever imagined. This terrifying thought experiment reveals just how fragile Earth's balance truly is. Oxygen, often taken for granted, is the silent force that keeps our planet alive. But what if the real danger isn't its sudden absence, but rather how we are altering its delicate equilibrium? With rising carbon dioxide levels and deforestation threatening oxygen sources, perhaps the real question isn't, what if oxygen disappeared for 5 seconds? But what if we keep pushing our planet toward a future where oxygen depletion isn't fiction, but reality?